Giants. It's way different than what Henlock is playing, and but it has Hellfire, and it also has Shadow Flame, and those Ancient Watchers. So it kind of has all the cards that are.
Be the game he ends it, or will Realz tie it up against all odds and send it to the game 7?
He is one game off lethal. Can you actually say that?
Job's done.
One game off lethal, I guess. That's
Kind
one
of.
way to put it.
Okay, so looking at the Realz hand is pretty interesting as well. He gets Nerubinek again with a Void Terror. No Void Color. Come on! It's like I love that Void Color guy. It's having so much synergy with Jaraxxus turn 4 and stuff, and like Doomguards out of nowhere. But he's just not drawing into it. So here he was just going to execute his standard plan with Nerubinek into Void Terror.
Job's done.
On the other hand, Amaz has a Hex, has an Earthshock, has a lot of ways to actually deal with this.
Yeah, I think there's no rush though. Dropping the Haunted Creeper is excellent. You know, Realz was taking his time too on turn 2, starting up a fire. Maybe he's getting a little cold where he is, but it's California. I can't imagine it ever getting cold, especially in the summer. Shout out to all the West Coast people. They're probably the ones watching because it is pretty late. Coming up on 5 a.m. for Central European time, but it's coming up on the prime time for U.S. Thank you so much, everyone who's been kind of tuning in and watching. It's been an enjoyable tournament, and Amaz is in prime position for the 3rd game in a row to end this series, but Realz has been surprising all tournament long, and once again, the grand finals. He plays a Harvest Golem, and it seems like he's just going to continue to build his board because he's given up the ability to use his Nerubian Egg. Ooh! And he draws Power Overwhelming just after his Nerubian Egg gets destroyed.
Power Overwhelming might still be a nice card to have, and now the question is, do you kind of trade or do you go for face? Those minions that Amaz has played, 1/2 Death Rattle, 2/3 Death Rattle, they are so sticky, so trading here is pretty weird. You can possibly play Defender of Argus and buff your Harvest Golem to trade with Harvest Golem, but still you have to deal with the 2/1 damage token and that spider. You've seen the Airshock. Do you use Power Overwhelming on the Golem, deal 6 damage to face, and then play a Void Terror to get... Oh my god, how much is this even? This is +6, +7. This is a 9/10 Void Terror, and you still get the damaged Golem in the end.
I think that's too all in, and you might just lose to something like Hex. I think Realz has come this far. Oh, is he really gonna do it though?
There is also
wow.
faces for turn 5, so if there is no Hex, you can have a pretty sick follow-up.
I guess rather playing it slow than something like Defender of Argus, and then hopefully into something better, and then Dread Inferno is a little bit too slow for Realz's taste.
Oh my god, but Amaz was definitely playing Hex in here.
No, of course. You have to Hex here.
Wait, do you really have to Hex? You can actually you can Earthshock this? Because Hex is pretty good versus like
you're right.
as well.
You can Earthshock and then use your damage golem to trade.
Do you Earthshock and Lightning Storm? Possibly. Totem Earthshock. This is also viable.
Okay. He's always using, the Hex makes sense because he's seen Molten Giants and he wants to go for those favorable trades. And Amaz is playing super safe once again.
A pretty good play from Amaz. It's like that Airshock was pretty important. Using Hex here might be devastating because you will be those Hex short for the later turns where you see Dread Inferno, Doomguard, Molten Giant, and all the big guys. Even Lotheb is hard to deal with as well. He picks up Doomhammer. Amaz is going into an aggro mode in here, and Realz doesn't have those Molten Giants yet, so if he's not going to draw into them, he might be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Here's Dread Inferno to clear up some of the 1/1 tokens, by the way, and put some pressure on the board, making it much more difficult to remove. And again, it's one of those things that kind of, should I be hexing this? And, what about with the Molten Giants inevitably? It's like a big enough mid-range creature that you feel like you have to spend removal on, and that's, as much as Realz isn't happy about it right now, eventually down the line when things like Doomguard comes out and whatever else, it also means that the removal's been spent on those kinds of creatures instead.
What's important from Amaz's side is that now he will be able to play the Fire Elemental next turn, also with a Lightning bolt, and still he has this Doomhammer doing a lot of work. But I really shout out to Reels in here because we were talking about this deck before. This deck is built kind of around Void Caller, and we haven't seen that Void Caller doing any work in the last two games. This game, Void Caller is also not here, and if you're building a deck around Void Caller, you have to make sure that this deck actually works if you don't draw the combo card. And I'd say this deck actually works pretty nicely.
I think when Real sees a Hex and two Earthshocks and just seeing a lot of the removal being put out, I think he feels comfortable playing Doomguard. It's about whether or not you want to tap for a card or you want to play something like Sun Fury and taunt it up.
Do you Sun Fury and then Doomguard?
Sun Fury the 4/4, so that way Doomguard is better protected.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's good.
You also build like a considered board here, so you won't be able to drop the Doomguard.
Okay. Well, he wants to get a little bit more value out of cards. Doomguard only goes straight into a 0/1, so it doesn't feel very good. That totem becomes a 0/5. So you just try to poke it a little bit beforehand, and then Doomguard comes in a turn where he has to kind of answer it, but he's also taking 5 damage per turn.
So being Amaz, do you kind of clear?
With Lightning Storm?
I'm thinking about Fire Element. Oh, there's a couple of options here. You can attack into the 5/5, attack into the 3/4, take 8 points of damage. Well, you're an aggressive player, so you kind of can pay the cost. And Fire Elemental, or you can just Rockbiter and just clear. You can just
Rockbiter Elemental to clear the board. I think that's not bad. Your opponent is already at 19, though, and you feel like you might want to save that for the burst opportunity.
Well, he will have a lot of burst if he saves that with Rockbiter and Light Bolt.
Wow, so he is going to save it. All right, Real's top deck Sun Fury Protector.
Well, to be honest, like next turn, Amaz is able to play Azure Drake and Lightning Storm, which will be pretty good. And that 5/5 taunt, even though it looks big, it just can't attack. It's a pacifist, so he won't be afraid of this guy.
Realz is also not sitting at the most comfortable amount of health. We kind of mentioned the burst that Amaz has. And, you know, if he's able to deal with it easily,
Doomhammer.
It becomes increasingly difficult for Realz to fight back, but he does have big creature potential. He can use Face as a Manipulator. He can use Void Terror if he wants to.
This is kind of clunky, actually, because you will be able to use only one card. You can actually Shadow Flame. Do you Shadow Flame in here?
It really depends on how much of a threat he feels like he's under.
Shadow Flame the 5/5, then attack for free.
I got this.
You still kind of have the minion.
I think Faceless is also powerful too.
Yeah, just like extend your board. But now, the Lightning Storm.
That's 3 to 4. You have to roll high, and then you're still going to be taking some damage back. But I guess that is a viable option.
I guess you Azure Drake anyway, because there is nothing else that's really good in here, unless you want to use that Rockbiter and just kill those guys. Well, you can possibly, with the Rockbiter, you can possibly clear the board, clear the taunts, and then you can still play that Azure Drake, honestly. This is another card. You will see what you get, and then you can attack for 6. Or even play a Flame Tongue Totem and attack for 8. Get them to 9 points of health. I guess you might be afraid of the Molten Giants, so it's kind of tricky. But I like the Rockbiter play, by the way. Rockbiter, clear, attack for 6. No, Azure Drake.
Well, I wonder if he was trying to go for the spell power totem, so that way he can get a good roll and then use Flame Tongue Totem to kind of clean up. He's going to use Rockbiter and Lightning Bolt instead, saving himself the Azure Drake. I suppose he's seen Shadow Flame, so he doesn't want to overextend into Shadow Flame either, which makes sense. But then, as a result, this Fire Elemental is seeing passive turns. He wants to
Actually,
go for a finish next turn too with Rockbiter plus the Flame Tongue Totem. This is the ideal way for him to end the game. So Amaz is setting himself for lethal, but we know the Shadow Flame can change things.
Shadow Flame can change things. Lothep can change a lot. Realz has a lot of ways to actually stop the rampage here. The thing is, like, the taunt is going away, and Amaz still has that Rockbiter. If he gets a second Rockbiter, that's game. Oh no, it isn't because there is Lothep. So I guess Azure Drake is the card.
Yep, you're forced to Drake and see what you get. And good thing he didn't play into the Shadow Flame. At least that's what Amaz was thinking. So his plan ended up working out beautifully.
Power overwhelming. Oh my god.
Set up a 12-12. No, yeah, 12-12 if you absorb it with Void Terror. Just
Well, the thing
way
is, like,
too crazy powerful.
look how much damage there is on the real side. Is he wasn't able to deal any damage almost to Shaman, but if he will be in a situation where Shaman is down to 15, he can just like pull 14 points of damage here out of nowhere. Also, he can make those sick plays like power. Oh my god, this is
wow, Soulfire to kill off the Drake.
18 points of damage out of nowhere.
But I think the Soulfire on the Drake is good. You control the board. Oh man, and he's already seen things like 2 Earthshocks and a Hex. He might feel so tempted to go for this big play. How does your opponent deal with it? They play Feral Spirits and you're sad, you're depressed. You just start pulling out your beer and drinking your sorrows away because they played Feral Spirits and rolled a Taunt Totem.
But he still has a Hellfire. He's going for his play. He's going for power Void Terror.
Oh man, at least he kept Doomguard.
Come
on. He kept Doomguard, but now he can play Doomguard. And I guess he compensates the damage. And this way he's not super all in. So Realz going for a more spread out approach, diversification. I like it. Financially, it makes sense. And Hearthstone, I think it's safe. It makes your bets better against the field.
Right now, he's set up himself in a really good position, by the way. He has those 2 big minions. Even if Amaz plays Fire Elemental, Realz is still able to just push 10 points of damage out of nowhere. And he will be drawing 2 cards next turn, whatever happens. And Amaz doesn't actually have a good way to follow up in here. Like, if he plays Fire Elemental, yeah, he kills the 2-3. But what then? He can actually go with the Rockbiter right away.
Comes down, maybe. Ooh. This is gonna hurt. Because this is the damage you're gonna be taking anyways. But Amaz is gonna commit to it. And Ancestral Spirit does pop down. So that way this Fire Elemental most likely will stay. And so maybe Amaz can find a way to end it. Shadow Flame doesn't give him the answer. Oh, he has an Ironbeak Owl to silence the Ancestral Spirit.
Oh my god.
And Realz has to go.
Amaz needs something. Like, he needs an Alakir.
Second Rockbiter, Alakir, I don't know. Will this be the series-defining draw? Sylvanas is not it. He's looking at 7 damage. Taunt Totem would still be great.
You killed the Ironbeak, by the way, so that it doesn't kill your totem, so you can get the value of all those Flame Tongues. You play Sylvanas. Do you play Sylvanas? Like, Sylvanas seems so wasteful.
It's at this point, it's kind of like a gain 7 health, maybe?
I guess you kill Doomguard here, by the way, because it has only 1 health. So you kill Doomguard, and then you have the Sylvanas with the totem. Sylvanas actually finishes the game. If Realz is not able to respond to Sylvanas, he will just lose.
But he also has Shadow Flame, so if he picks up something like Power Overwhelming... No, if he picks up Power Overwhelming, he just attacks straight to the face. And that's game.
Yeah.
Realz is not out of this. He still has a 4 damage outer. Any 4 damage will send it into overtime, basically.
Oh my god. Those 2 cards, those next cards will...
He needs a Soulfire. He needs a Soulfire, I think. I don't know. Any kind of ways to do damage. Doomguard number 2.
Void Caller. You tap.
Wait, but Void Caller clears the board.
Oh yeah, it does.
Void Caller clears the board. And it summons whatever demon's in his hand.
Do you tap then?
You absolutely tap Siphon Soul.
So you
I
clear
think
with the
you got
void
to go for
core.
the board clear here.
Oh my god, this game is so sick. Amaz doesn't have a way to actually finish it next turn. He needs that Alakir.
Oh, if he had something like a Doomguard or Jiraxis or Dread Infernal, that could have been potential checkmate, but now it's back over to Amaz, where he draws a Hex, which is,
Hex is so
I guess it's
unexciting.
great against whatever comes out, but you're still afraid of something like Doomguard. At least you're at 6 health. Taunt Totem
Taunt
is
Totem.
so clutch.
Pretty nice.
That is super clutch.
Oh my god, a Hellfire.
Oh man, you feel like you have to tap Molten Giant. But it will get hexed, and this is where we're saying it was very valuable. Do you have to Siphon Soul a Taunt Totem? Oh my god.
This is so sick. This game is just insane. What is going on even?
Amaz
he's
needs
that Alakir.
something.
There's
No.
He has to
He
hack.
is looking for Alakir. You're absolutely correct. And he's still being cautious not to overextend.
That totem is a winning condition. I mean,
Jiraxis has made an
Jiraxis.
appearance. Realz is still in it. He just attacked. He's one turn away, which means
how is he doing it?
Amaz has to win with this right now, but he can't. Which means I think Realz has this because Hellfire is guaranteed lethal.
Yeah, and the hacks as well.
Wait,
so,
no. Unless Amaz is able to do damage. No, Feral Spirits is not it. We're going to game number 7.
Oh my god, how is this possible? With
What
the
an
team unlock?
insane finish. I think that was the one card Realz needed to win, really.
Oh man.
I don't think there's any other way that could have pulled him out. And I think his
Hellfire.
heart is beating so fast, just like ours and the thousands of viewers that are watching, because Amaz had the win at his fingertips, but Realz will end this game with the Hellfire. GG.
Jiraxis
Let's go to
is
game
making
7.
a comeback, by the way. Jiraxis is making a comeback to the constructed metagame. He was forgotten. He was cut from